Hi guys, today I'm going to be using some products from the new Bobbi Brown, that's the Love Flush collection. This is available, well I hope it's available on the Bobbi Brown US site. 2 or 3 days ago everything was loaded up on that website, but then it was temporarily out of stock. But because they had uploaded the images, I imagine that the stock would be coming fairly soon, so hopefully it is available when I've put up this video. Now I have done another video on this collection, and in that video I used one of the Ombre Eyeshadow palettes, and that one was in Sunset Rose. And I also used the blush and highlighter duo, the one in Pink Glow, but that one wasn't from the new collection because I already had that and I didn't want to double up. So in this collection are 2 ombre eyeshadow palettes. One is Sunset Rose and the other one is called Golden Skyline. That's the one I'm going to use today. There are 2 blush and highlighter duos. Now the blush and highlighter duos aren't new shades. They're already in the Bobbi Brown collection, but they are in this limited edition Love Flush collection. And there's also 2 lipsticks as well, and I didn't pick those up. They're not really shades that I would wear for my everyday makeup. And again, those 2 lipsticks are already in the Bobbi Brown collection. It's just that they're in this limited edition packaging. So the 2 products that are new and limited edition are these ombre eyeshadow gradient palettes, and I think they are absolutely beautiful. I love the look that I created in my other video using Sunset Rose, and the one that I'm going to use today, I did use this about 3 or 4 days ago and I thought this was really gorgeous too. So the products come in this packaging. The eyeshadow palette has 5 grams of product, and these are made in Japan. So I'll just take this eyeshadow palette out and I'll show you the color story of Golden Skyline, and then I will show you Sunset Rose. So I'll put them together and show them to you. So the outside packaging just mimics what's on the box. It has that golden color edging around the side. It just lifts up. It has a little mirror in there, but it's big enough if you at a pinch had to do your eyeshadow look using that mirror. I think it would be fine. And this is the color story of Golden Skyline, and I think it's really beautiful. What I like about it is that it isn't too yellow leaning, and it really gives a gorgeous look. And I just love this gradient on here. I think it's really, really lovely. So I'm just going to open Sunset Rose and then I'll show them to you both together. So this one is Sunset Rose and this one is Golden Skyline. So they are quite different. The Sunset Rose has quite a bit of pink in it, but what I like about it is that it has the brown as well. So it really grounds the eyeshadow. You get a beautiful pink look, but it's not too pink because you've got the brown in there as well. And the other thing about both of these palettes is that if you weren't very interested in picking up the blush and highlighter duos, I think you could use these as blushes as well. I haven't done that yet, but there would be no reason why you couldn't, and I think they would look absolutely beautiful doing that. So I'll swatch this palette on the back of my hand so you can take a look, and I'll swatch it from left to right, so we go from lightest through to darkest. The other thing about these shadows that I think is really beautiful is that they have a pearlescence to them, and it gives just a really gorgeous shimmer. It's not chunky in any way. And the other thing about these palettes is that this one I've used once, and this one I've used once as well. And just from using them, I don't find that they mix together when you use these palettes either. Sometimes with these type of shadows, product can start to mix together and get a bit muddy looking, but that doesn't seem to be happening with these palettes. They really are really beautiful quality. So I've already got my foundation on, I've also got concealer, I've done my eyebrows, and I've also got bronzer on as well. The foundation that I'm wearing is the Bobbi Brown, it's the Skin Longwear Weightless Foundation. And this is in the shade N042 Beige. I was only recently able to find a shade that wasn't too yellow in the Bobbi Brown range, and I'm pleased that I have. I think this is a really good shade for me, and it doesn't throw yellow at all. I think it is really, really lovely. And it is winter here in New Zealand, but I find that this long wear isn't too heavy, this foundation. I did put it on with a beauty blender, and I usually do that with long wear foundations just so they don't get cakey looking at all. But I think that this wears really, really beautifully. And as it says, it is long wear. I wear this for at least 8 to 12 hours throughout the day. It really depends what I'm doing throughout the day, but I've found that it does wear really, really beautifully. So just like in the other video, I'm going to keep this eye look very simple. These are what I think that these palettes were designed for. There's 3 shades. It makes things very simple. You don't have to really think about what you're doing, and it just gives a really beautiful finished look. So I'm going to take the Rapha number 14, and I'm going to go into this middle shade here, and I'm going to put that through my crease and above. There isn't any kick up in these palettes. I don't find that there's any fallout with these shadows either, and they blend really, really beautifully.
Stay another minute, let me hold you. You might be late for work, that's okay. Stay. Every day I get to know you.
I'm going to take the Sonia G, the mini booster, and I'm now going to go into this darker shade here, and I'm going to put that in the outside corner, and I'm also going to put it through the crease as well, just to give some definition.
All your flaws and nothing to change. I love it when you wake up, freckles with no makeup. I just wanna take up all your time and stay put. Humor mixed with perfume takes over the bedroom. I was built to love you, you know.
So I'm going to keep with that darker shade. I'm going to take the Rapha number 3, and I'm going to put this on my lower lash line. Then I'm going to take the Rapha number 2. I'm going to go back into the middle shade. I'm going to put this over the rest of my lid, but I am going to go over this with the lighter shade as well.
Is there anybody out there? Is there anybody else like you? Anybody else like you? I think I found an angel. Is there anybody else like you? Anybody else like you?
And I'm going to take the Sonia G, this is the flat definer, and now I'm going to go into the lightest shade here, and I'm going to put some of this over the top of the shade that I just put on, and I'll bring a little bit through here as well, just to lighten things up. I'm also going to put a little bit in the inner corner as well, and run it just under here. Then I'm going to add some definition to my upper lash line. So I'm going to use the darker shade in here to do that. If I don't think it's enough, I will use an eyeliner as well. But I'll try this shade first. So I think that shade actually is enough. I just want to keep it fairly soft. So I don't think I will use a highlighter. I'm going to put some mascara on in a minute. But normally what I do is grab a fluffy brush, either something like this, the Sonia G, this is the Blender Pro, or I do have a Chukahodo brush, and that is the Blender one. And I'm just trying to find it here, or one like this, and I just go over and just make sure everything's sort of softened and blended. Both I've wiped down the Blender Pro and wiped down this as well before I do this. And the other thing with these eyeshadows is that you can build them. So once you've sort of gone over everything, and if you feel like you've lost a bit of the depth with the brown shade, you can always add some more. I think it's looking fairly good, but I will show you. I'll take this on your G. This is the mini booster. I'm just going to wipe it on my cloth here. And I'll just go into that deeper shade. And you can add some more, just so you get a little bit more depth. So I've now put some mascara on. As I said, I didn't add any eyeliner. I just used the deeper shade. And this is the finished look. And I think this is really pretty too. I'm loving the bronze look. I love this brown shade in here. And I also love that opalescence through the shadows. They're just beautiful. They don't emphasize the texture on your eyelids, but they do give this really subtle, just a really beautiful shimmer, and I think it's really, really lovely. So now I'm going to put on some blush and highlighter. This is the Honey Glow Duo, and these aren't new shades, as I was saying earlier in the video, but it is the limited edition packaging. So this is what the packaging looks like from the Love Flush collection. And you have the Honey Glow highlighting powder in here and the Nude Flush, the Radiant Blush. And these are made in Italy, whereas the eyeshadows, they're made in Japan. So those of you that haven't seen this colour story before, this is what Honey Glow looks like. So you have the highlighter up here and the blush down here, but the blush also has a radiance to it as well. So I'm going to take my Chukahodo, this is the F03, and go into the blush first. And this is going to match really beautifully with the eyeshadow. I think this is going to look really beautiful. Just going to go in again. So the blush does have a sheen to it, and I think it is really beautiful. Once again, just like the eyeshadows, it doesn't emphasize the texture that you have. I think they're really lovely. So this blush is fairly subtle, so you can definitely build it up though. Now that I've done a second layer, it is buildable, which is quite good because I didn't want it to be too brown on my cheeks. I think it looks really lovely. So now I'll just put some on the other side. Yeah, it's really lovely. And then I'll go into the highlighter. And just pop some up here. It's really beautiful. I do love the Bobbi Brown highlighters. I think they're gorgeous. They give this really beautiful glow. But again, they just don't seem to emphasize the texture that I have. It's not a really blingy wet look, but you can definitely see the highlight. I think they are really, really lovely. So now for lipstick. Now the only lipstick that I have in Bobbi Brown is the Crushed Lip Colour, and this is in Blondie Pink, and I don't think this is really going to be the right colour for this. What I would like, or I think would look really good with this bronze look, would either be, if you wanted to wear like an orange, I think that would look really beautiful, or a coral, and I don't have any of those shades in Bobbi Brown. I do have the Crushed Oil-Infused glosses that came out recently, and I may put that on top of a lipstick. So I'm just going to have a look in my lipstick collection, and I think I'm going to choose just a soft coral colour. So I've grabbed a Chanel, this is a lip balm, and this is in Flirty Coral, and then over the top I will use one of the new Bobbi Brown, the Crushed Oil-Infused glosses. I did a review on these about 3 or 4 weeks ago on all 3 shades, so I'll put the link up here if I remember when I'm editing. So we'll try this lip balm and see how it looks. So here is the finished look, and I think altogether it looks really, really lovely. I love the colour story of this Bobbi Brown Ombre Eyeshadow, but I do love Sunset Rose as well. They give completely different looks. And I love the formula of these. I think they're beautiful and they blend beautifully too. And as I mentioned in my other video, these are a lot more pigmented than I thought they were going to be. I thought they were going to be, from the pictures that I had seen on Instagram, I thought they were going to be a lot more subtle than this. But if you want more pigment, you certainly can build them, and they build really beautifully as well. So I love both of these. I don't think I have a favorite. I love the look of the Sunset Rose, and I love the look of this one as well. Both are just really beautiful. And this is the first time I've used the Colour Story for this blush and highlighter duo, and I think it is a really beautiful look. I think it's quite subtle but just gorgeous, and I love the fact with Bobbi Brown that it just doesn't emphasize the texture. You get this beautiful glow, but it's not too out there. And even though everyone has pores and that's completely normal on skin, it doesn't emphasize them to the point that that's all you can see is the texture on your skin. You get this really beautiful look. And I think if you have a lipstick in Bobbi Brown, if you've got a soft coral or you've got even a bright orange, would look really beautiful with this. And I do like the color of this lip balm. It's a more softer type of coral bean lip balm, but I think it looks really lovely with the eyeshadow and the blush, and with a little bit of the Bobbi Brown one, the Bare Sparkle, the Oil-Infused gloss over the top. I think it looks really, really pretty. So I really like this collection. Now when it comes to the blush and highlighters, like I said, you can actually use the ombre eyeshadows, this one or the Sunset Rose, whichever you want. I think you could use them as blushes as well, and I think they would look really beautiful if you didn't want to pick up the blush and highlighters, because I think that the pearlescence that it has in the eyeshadow is certainly, it's subtle enough to be able to use on your cheeks, and I doubt whether it would give more of a sheen that you get from the duo. You might get a little bit more. The shade that I used on the inner corner of my eye, you could use that if you wanted a real sort of golden highlight. You could use that on your cheekbone there, and I think that would look really gorgeous too. But I'm really impressed with this collection, especially the ombre eyeshadows. I think that they are really, really beautiful. So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Bye.